the iconic year 2000. While the world was panicking about the Y2K bug, kids were counting down the days until the PlayStation 2 arrived. Investors were pouring money into .com startups. The internet was exploding. A new millennium had begun, and nobody knew exactly what would come next. But for a handful of people, the year 2000 wasn't a time of uncertainty. It was their moment. Business, politics, film, music, and honestly, a few of these people didn't just have a good year. They kind of ran the whole thing. Could it be because they were born in a dragon year, just like the year 2000 itself, which was, in fact, a Chinese dragon year? Welcome to our biggest winners of the year 2000. At number 5, we have Maggie Cheung. If you're Gen Z and you've never heard of Maggie, don't worry. Just know that film lovers have been obsessed with her for decades. In 2000, she starred in the classic film In the Mood for Love, a movie that's somehow gotten more respected with age. Seriously, every few years, critics make another greatest films ever list, and this movie keeps showing up near the top. What's crazy is how it was made. Director Wong Kar-wai didn't even start with a finished script. Scenes were constantly being rewritten. Actors often didn't know exactly where things were going, and some moments were shot over and over until they felt right. And then there were the dresses. Maggie wore more than 20 different qipaos throughout the film. They're beautiful to look at, but they also quietly help you feel the passage of time without the movie ever stopping to explain it. And in the same year, 2000, she took home Best Actress at the Golden Horse Awards for the role. Not bad for a performance in a film that critics would later call one of the greatest ever made. But what makes Maggie different is that she never seemed interested in becoming a Hollywood star. While everyone else was trying to cross the Pacific, she stayed exactly where she was, and somehow, the world came to her. At number 4, we have Jack Ma. Jack Ma may be the greatest argument against judging people by their resume. Before Alibaba, his track record looked disastrous. Failed his college entrance exams. He was rejected by Harvard 10 times. He was turned down for countless jobs. When KFC opened in his hometown, 24 people applied. 23 got hired. Jack Ma was the only one rejected. Most people would have taken the hint. Jack Ma gathered 17 friends in his apartment instead. Together, they scraped together $60,000 and started a technology company in 1999. Almost nobody believed it would work. China barely had internet access at the time. Then came 2000. The dot-com bubble burst. Billions of dollars disappeared. Internet startups around the world collapsed. Alibaba survived. Maybe that makes sense. Dragons don't get eliminated, especially in a dragon year. And when everyone else is falling apart, that's when they strike. While many internet companies became cautionary tales, Alibaba became one of the largest businesses on Earth. Not bad for the guy KFC didn't want. On number 3 spot, Russell Crowe. Some performances don't just win awards, they become part of culture forever. And in the year 2000, Russell Crowe gave one of those performances. Gladiator came out that summer. $460 million worldwide, on a budget that was barely a quarter of that. Best Picture. Best Actor. 5 Oscars, total. And gave us one of the most quoted lines in film history. Behind the scenes, this film was total chaos. Scenes were being rewritten on the spot, sometimes minutes before they filmed them. Crowe reportedly clashed with the writers constantly, refusing to say lines that didn't feel true to the character, and somehow that chaos produced one of the most iconic performances of the decade. Here's what most people miss, though. Maximus isn't just a character, he's basically a dragon origin story. A man at the absolute height of his power, a general, respected, feared, stripped of everything in a single moment. Family, gone. Rank, gone. Name, gone. Thrown into an arena and told to perform for people who don't even deserve to watch him. And instead of breaking, he fights his way back to the top, with nothing but will and fury. Russell Crowe didn't play a dragon in Gladiator. Russell Crowe is a dragon who happened to be playing one. 2000 was his arena, and he was very, very entertained. Before we return to our biggest winners, we need to acknowledge and pay homage to one of the most consequential dragons who ever lived, Robert Oppenheimer. A physicist so brilliant, he helped unlock the power of the atom, and in doing so, changed human history forever. When the first atomic bomb exploded in 1945, he famously recalled a line from the Bhagavad Gita.
The destroyer of worlds.
Love him or fear what he created, Oppenheimer's shadow still hangs over the modern world. And if you told anyone the guy who built the atomic bomb was a dragon sign, nobody would be surprised, not a rabbit. And before the rabbits start typing angry comments, we love you, you fluffy little balls of diplomacy. But when history needed someone to split the atom, it apparently called a dragon. Now, back to our list. You thought we forgot, didn't you?
We didn't
Not
forget
on this
about you.
channel.
Oh.
The Nokia 3310. Released September 1st, 2000. 126 million units sold. One of the best-selling phones in history. Everybody's dad had one. It survived every drop, every pocket, and every questionable life decision its owner ever made. Built in a dragon year. Indestructible like one. If yours is still in a drawer somewhere, it's probably at 63% battery. This has been a Shengxiao Timeline's commercial break. Now back to the dragons. At number 2, we present Lenny Kravitz. In the year 2000, Lenny was everywhere. Radio, magazine covers, red carpets, looking cooler than everybody else while doing it. Rock star, certified sex symbol, the kind of guy who could walk into a room full of celebrities and somehow still be the coolest person there. At one point, police mistakenly detained him in connection with a bank robbery. The witness took one look at him and immediately cleared him. Meanwhile, Lenny was busy collecting Grammys. In 2000, he won Best Male Rock Vocal Performance for his hit cover of American Woman. His second consecutive win in the category, and 2 more were already on the way. And Grammys weren't even his only job. Around the same era, he was writing songs for Michael Jackson's Invincible album. Years earlier, he'd helped write Madonna's #1 hit, Justify My Love. Later, he'd collaborate with Mick Jagger. Think about that. Most musicians spend their careers trying to work with legends. By the year 2000, Lenny Kravitz wasn't just having a great year, he was building a legacy. And finally, at number 1, Vladimir Putin. Almost nobody outside Russia could tell you his name. By the end of the year, he was president of the Russian Federation. Here's how fast that rise actually was. Just months earlier, on December 31st, 1999, Boris Yeltsin unexpectedly resigned and handed power to his prime minister, a former KGB officer nobody outside Russia could really place. That prime minister was Putin. On March 26, 2000, Putin won Russia's presidential election outright and took control of the largest country on Earth. Talk about a career upgrade. Russia was entering a new century, facing enormous challenges. The Soviet Union had collapsed less than a decade earlier, and the economy had struggled through the entire decade that followed. Many Russians were frustrated, uncertain, and looking for stability. Putin stepped into that moment, promising a stronger, more orderly Russia. The message resonated, the voters responded, and history took notice. Looking back, it's difficult to find another winner from the year 2000 whose victory carried greater consequences. There was no stadium, no red carpet, no award show. This was political power on a global scale. The presidency of a nation stretching across 11 time zones, a country holding a permanent seat on the United Nations Security Council, and one of the largest nuclear arsenals on the planet. Within a few years, Putin became one of the most recognizable political figures alive. His decisions shaped international relations, global markets, military strategy, and world events far beyond Russia's own borders for over 2 decades and counting. The man who entered the year 2000 as a relatively unknown politician ended it as one of the most powerful leaders in the world. Other people on this list won awards. Some made fortunes, others broke records. Putin won something bigger, a country. And whether you see that as history's greatest political comeback or its most concerning power grab, more than 2 decades later, people are still talking about the consequences of what happened in the year 2000. That's why Vladimir Putin takes the #1 spot on our list of the biggest winners of 2000.